What's going on, Tamers? It's your boy Varney, and today we've got another meta snapshot for y'all. If you're a YouTube member, you'll be seeing this video early as a thank you for supporting us. It's $4.99 a month, and you can learn more about our YouTube membership by clicking the link in the description down below. Because remember, you support DGU, and DGU supports you, baby. Now let's get into the video. So you can see here the tournament was hosted by Play TCG in Mesquite, Texas. This was an in-person regionals. We need more of those. 254 players, 7 rounds of Swiss best of 3 where Nuamon took the event. Also seeing tops from Secon, Red Hybrid, Lugon, Balfamon, Mirage, Levia, Bunnies, Davos, Armors. Good lord. This is a very diverse meta, if y'all couldn't tell by this point of doing the meta snapshots. But we're going to start out first by taking a look at Ryan Week's first place Nuamon list, as well as Ryan McCarthy's 15th place Nuamon list. So starting off with Ryan here, we've got purple base Nuamon. Now that is new. We haven't seen this before. I know I haven't seen this before. The interesting thing here is, like, this Gabumon is good. Don't get me wrong. You get the same start of main phase if your opponent has Digimon Gain in Memory. You would love the when attacking draw one trash one if there was any level 4 here that could digivolve over this Gabumon. Now, you can obviously tuck it with Chimeramon, but like, we're talking early game here, right? So what this seems like it's mainly in here for is 2 things. Number 1, it's mainly in here for that memory gain, but also if you pull into your if you pull into the Gabu X, it's a free Digivolve. And this Gabu X is really good in the deck because you reveal top 4, you had 2 with Garurumon or X Antibody. Obviously there's no Garurumon cards, so you just add X Antibody cards, which is your Numamon X, arguably the backbone of the deck, as well as Monzemon X and Protoform. Now, another interesting thing here, no Louis, just opting for 3 Satsuki. We still have the 4 Ukomons because, again, this deck doesn't run without Ukomon. But it's just interesting to see no Louis. I would imagine that you definitely want to see, the Louis, so that the Ukomon Louis combo is just insane. Another thing here is on deletion, you trash a level 5 or higher to draw 1. If Zort defeats breaking up your hand, you got 2 or 3 of them. You definitely don't need those. So it's just honestly a trash 1, draw 2 type thing. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. You get to see it when you want to see it, and then you can trash it for the egg. Looking at the list, otherwise, this is just Nuamon at its finest. You got Monzemon here as well as Waro Monzemon. They both give the Sec +1 inheritable. So going for Monze X over either though, because remember, Monze X digivolves from Monzemon in name. So you can digivolve over Waro Monzemon as well. You can get that Sec +1 there, especially if you got Satsuki underneath for jamming, or you can just swing Platinum Nuamon and hope it dies. And then if you have Numa X, you're just going to vomit out bodies on deletion, because why not? Now, obviously, this is a little bit more of a streamlined list as well. So this Nuamon doesn't feel as bad because there's less cards you have the potential to body deck. You got 4 Zort defeat. You'll probably see another one. The Azulong, and the rookie lineup is pretty much the only thing that's going to be bottom decked here in relation to other lists that we've seen. But anyways, Ryan, congratulations on your first place finish with Nuamon. Very spicy with the purple base. And then next up, we've got Ryan McCarthy's 15th place list going back to the black base. And now here we see the Louis, we see the Venus, the Shinmonze, the Merciful, the Dex, the Ruin Mode, the Chumon, the Agumon. Now this one can digivolve up, and that's why I like black base over anything else, just because you have the potential to digivolve any one of these over your rookies if you need to, instead of hard dropping them. Not that you can't hard drop them, but sometimes you might just want to digivolve. Sometimes you need that draw power. Running the 4 memory blocker Chumon is actually very interesting because of what black has access to. You have access to play cost reduction, which isn't really a big thing in this meta outside of Dexmon, which you might want against your deck. But we've also seen the inclusion of the Security Chikurimon, which de-digivolves. There's a couple other ones that I'm missing because I can't remember them off the top of my head. But just said, screw all of those other ones. We're just going to prevent my opponents from gaining memory by effects, other than by tamer effects, I should say. And I mean, that's a very viable strat. Just being able to say, all right, cool, Chumon, no more memory gain for you. You deleted it, that's cool. Another Chumon is just really annoying, a big pain in the ass. Also, something about Waro Monzemon that I didn't really talk about in the last video, and it's just now coming to mind as I'm thinking about these decks. Waro Monzemon is also a pain in the ass because it's a D-Digivolve 1. It's just a straight, well, you have to trash a Numamon, but it's a D-Digivolve 1, which is just so insane that you can go, whatever Numamon into Waro Monzemon, get rid of like some sort of blocker threat or something else that would like prevent you from doing what you want to do, and then just pop off from there. If you go Monze X here, then you might be able to pop that if it's level 5 and you have enough Digimon on field, or you can just do whatever other shenanigans you can do. It's such a pain in the ass card trying to play around Waro Monzemon. I know when I play against Dan, it always feels like he has it, and that's because he always does. We got the Merciful mode here. Merciful mode, obviously, for mirror match, for purple matchups, very strong card. Dexmon for also opposing matches and other go-wide decks, because we do have a couple. And Ruin mode, because you can never, you can never not want to lock out your opponent for game. You know, this card is just, there's a reason this card costs so much, as well as Dexmon for that matter. But, you know, congratulations, Ryan McCarthy, on your 15th place finish with Numamon here. So now we're going to take a look at our 3 security control lists. First up, we've got Isaiah, who went 6-0-1 and placed second with their list. Then in third place, we've got Nolan going 6-1. And if you guys don't know Nolan Lee, he is one of the hosts of the Security Checkpoint podcast, and he also participates in our TBLs on occasion. So if you guys want some good competition, there is good competition that happens in the Tamers Battle League, which you can check out on Fridays at 7 p.m. And then lastly, we've got Dominic with their 14th place list. So first up here, we've got Isaiah. Obviously, you know, I would say this is yellow base Setcon, but who am I kidding? Setcon is almost always yellow base nowadays. I remember the days when this deck used to be red base though. Sound like a boomer. Anyways, so yeah, we got the 4 Upamons here. So when attacking, if you got 3 or fewer, trash 1. And then the Viximon, which is when you use an option card with a cost 2 or more, you draw 1. So I find value in Viximon only if I have a rookie that wants to stay on board. This is a list that plays the Salamon, because I know the last time we saw a list that was not playing Salamon. This list plays Salamon, and generally when you're playing Salamon, you want Upamon because you're swinging at that 3 or less security threshold. So not only do you get the draw, but if it dies, you get that recovery. But we also got 2 Pillamon in here, so that's our 6 rookies for the deck. Pillamon just saying, haha, screw you Leviamon, but also other decks that play by effects, such as Lugon or Numamon, you can't do that. So really strong there. Of course, Flame Hellscythe recurs those, as well as the card that everybody wants to be banned, Magna Angemon. I know a lot of people want this card to be just restricted or banned because it's an old card that still sees play, and it's unrestricted recovery, and yada, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And listen, hey, I get it. I get it. I'm not going to say I don't. I'm just going to say I get it. I'm not going to comment any further than that. 3 Magna Ace, which leads us into our... Ooh, no Venusmon here. Just said 4 Black Seraphian. Hey, for what it's worth, when these lists don't play Venusmon, I'm like, I don't know if I wouldn't play Venusmon, but then you see like 4 Black Seraphi, and you're like, yeah, I mean, that's a card, because most decks can't out Black Seraphimon. Like, if you're just going to delete... Fenrir, for example, they better hard drop that Hellugar first, so that they can get rid of this, because every check you do, you're going to get de-digivolved. And with 4 Black Seraphis, it's more than likely you get rid of the first one, then the second one comes down, and you might not be able to deal with the second one. They're just a pain in the ass card to get around, considering that a lot of our meta is not so much bounce based. I mean, sure, you have Mirage. You might have a blue deck here or there, or you might have a green deck like Bunnies. But generally speaking, Shadow Seraphi is a pain in the ass to get rid of. So definitely a very good card to play at 4 of. And then, of course, 2 Azulong Ace to prevent those, or not maybe prevent is the right word, but to punish those early swings when there's level 5 chilling on board. You're like, maybe they don't have it. No, they have it. Avenged Kid, obviously to recycle your options. Gallantmon as your 1 of here, because you're Setcon and you do get a lot of cards in trash. Your games are long and drawn out. You might as well take advantage of being able to drop this boy for cheap. Interesting thing here is that we do run 8, or I shouldn't say 8. We run 7 Kari named Tamers, but we only run 1 Revelation. Most times, you know, you see like 3 Revelation at least, and also only 1 Holy Wave. This is actually kind of interesting, the option lineup here. Obviously, you want 4 Chaos Deck, you want 4 Hellscythe, but opted for 4 Lonky and 1 Wyverns, and utilize some of the other space for Tamers and being able to make things cheaper because of TK Kari if your opponent's being more aggro. But I don't know. I would probably run this card at more, especially if I was going to run, you know, all these Karis. It just feels like free value, especially considering it's out of security effect. But I wasn't the one who placed second with it. So Isaiah, congratulations with your 2nd place finish. Next up, we've got Nolan's Setcon list, which is almost very much like the one we saw just now, with the exceptions being only 1 Pillowmon. We've got the 1 Airdramon tech, because everybody now loves their Airdramon, as well as going up to 4 Magna Ace, as well as the 1 Angemon Ace. And Angemon Ace, I mean, why not, right? The thing is with Airdramon, what makes this card dumb, right, is you never expect, like against Setcon, you expect the Azulong Ace play. You don't expect, oh, I'm just going to swing, you know, there's an Airdramon, whatever. Oh, that's right. They have access to aces at level 5 because they have Magna Ace as well as Angemon Ace. So just a funny thing there. If you don't expect it, it can definitely happen to you. This list is running the 3 Venusmon, 3 Shadow Seraphi. So it's saying red hybrid. I'm going to slam the Shadow Seraphi, and if you don't deal with it, then I'm going to slam this Venusmon, and now you can try to deal with it. You can try to do it vice versa, but generally it's more punishing to deal with the Shadow Seraphi first and then the Venus. So you generally want to go Seraphi and then Venusmon. It's just, yeah, that's quite the deadly combo for decks that don't run hard removal, which is why you always should run 1 hard removal option, in my honest opinion. Then we do have 2 Revelation of Light in this list, taking advantage of the 8 total Karis that we run. The 1 Kari Memory Setter, 2 Wyverns, we got the 3 Lonky here. Only 3 Chaos deck. That's actually interesting. 3 Chaos deck. I guess that makes sense. You don't want to necessarily get bricked up on this not having your purple source. So opting to go up on the Lonky and the Wyverns because you do have a yellow base, and Wyverns, there's the only card that protects against Wyverns right now is Machine Dramon. And Lonky, well, Lonky is just a pain in the ass to play around. So definitely a very interesting, but hey, it worked out decision there. So congratulations, Nolan, on your 3rd place finish. And last, we've got Dominic with their 14th place finish with Setcon, only running 4 eggs. Just 4 rookies, no Pillowmon, which is interesting. I don't know if I would run Setcon and not run the Pillowmon because Pillowmon is just that damn good. But we do have, in addition to the Digimon Emperor, an X program. So you can cast this card as long as you have a white source. You don't have, I mean, sure, you can play Dexmon, but I guarantee if you play Dexmon, there's no world that you're going to follow that Dexmon up with an X program unless your opponent was able to like board vomit and somehow not end game and not lose half of their board to Dexmon. I don't know. So, but anyways, you can use the X program having the Dexmon in play, but you generally are relying on Digimon Emperor to be your white source for that, which is going to pop 1 Digimon without the X antibody trait. But if there are 3 or more Digimon in play, in both yours and your opponent's side, you get to pop all without the X antibody trait, which is disgusting. I've had it happen before. 4 Holy Wave here, 2 Wyverns, 4 Chaos Stag, then 3 Lonky. So essentially, this is like our standard removal package here, but this one opting for 4/3, so not many of the techs in terms of level 6s here, not running the extra Magna Angemon Ace or the Angemon Ace, nor running the Azulong Ace, just saying, I want my recovery, so I got my 4 Holy Wave. Of course, Aurelius playing the 1 Reinforcing, because why would you not? And the Element of Friendship, because you want to pull back that Avenged Kid in case that game goes too late. So Dominic, congratulations on your 14th place finish there. Next up, we've got Joe in 4th place with Belphemon. And yeah, this is not Leviamon. This is not Belphaleviamon. This is Belphemon. Wow. First of all, Joe, my hat's off to you. I'm not wearing a hat, but my hat's off to you. I didn't think we'd see it. Not with the Eismon being hit, but we've seen it, and I'm very ecstatic to see this. So let's dive into it. We're running the new BT15 egg. You trash a level 5 or higher to draw 2 on deletion. That's much better than the old Demi-Mirror egg, because while you do want to trash stuff, or you just want to trash whatever you want. So the combo here in this deck is that you generally want to have something else on field, whether you have the Ukomon, which can be very useful to be able to Digivolve Uko, raise, gain that memory, hatch a new egg, and then you can hard slam the Ostamon, or maybe you already have something on field to Digivolve over. But either way, because it's an on-play and when Digivolving, you pop one of your other Digimon, and this can Digivolve into Belphemon Sleep Mode from your hand. And then Sleep Mode sucks a Rage Mode from trash, and when it does that, it becomes immune to all of your opponent's effects until the end of your opponent's turn. And then Rage Mode is start of your main, you're popping all level 5 or lower on your opponent's side of the field. Then if you have 6 or less cards in hand, you gain Sec +1 and 3k DP. And then the inherited, or sorry, not the inherited, that doesn't matter just yet. The end of attack. And then the end of attack is you pop one of your other Digimon to unsuspend this Digimon. So again, combos very nicely with this Ukomon because you can raise. Combos very nicely with this Ukomon because you can raise, gain that memory, hatch a new egg, swing 2 checks, unsuspend by popping that Ukomon. You get that on deletion. You can you can facilitate more plays and just kind of go off. I mean, Belphemon, when Belphemon does what it does it very good. The problem was our Eismon scatter mode got hit, and that was our main draw trash engine. So now you have to rely very heavily on Proto Giz, Gizmon AT, and the Gizmon XT to get some of that draw trash going. We see some other tech cards here. We've got the 2 Raremon because it's still such a good card. You trash 1 to draw 2. Kaiser Leo because we do have Akihiro. Akihiro lets you tuck himself under a Belphemon at the end of your opponent's turn, of course after you draw 1, trash 1. And then you can pop one of your opponent's level 6 Digimon, so you can effectively board wipe. Really good. And then of course it does let you play the Belphemon for a reduced cost by popping one of your Gizmons. Generally you want to facilitate the Asamon play because of the inherited that I mentioned earlier. When a card is trashed from your hand, you may play 1 level 4 lower purple Digimon from your trash. So this lets you play out something for you to pop next turn, or just lets you play out a blocker, which can be very crucial. Ogremon, because you do get the on plays. So this trashes a card to pop an opponent's level 4 or lower. Very spicy tech there. I know Dan loves his Ogremons, and I do like this card a lot. I love when I look at lists like this, because I say it all the time. You can tell this list is very practiced. You can tell this is a list that wasn't just hodgepodge together and all right, cool, let's go try to run it. No. Joe put in the work with this. Joe, congratulations. I honestly never thought I'd see Belphemon top again after the Eismon hits, but you have proven me wrong. So I'm very glad to see this. Congratulations again. Moving on, we've got Steve in 5th place with Bunnies or Mega Gargomon. However you want to refer to this deck. Taking a look at it, this is both Bunnies and Mega Gargomon. I mean, this is just straight up what the list does. This is what the list does best. You go in on your Rapidmons, all of your Golden Armor Rapidmons, as well as your level 5 Rapidmon, to facilitate your Mega Gargo, because that card is so disruptive and so good. So the big thing about this deck is that, like I said, you go in on the Rapidmons. This Rapidmon for BT8, that's your board control Rapidmon, and the new Rapidmon is your blocker, but also when I block, I'm going to get to neg something, or if I'm offensive, I get to neg your security Digimon, and then I get to swing bigger. Interesting to only see 1 Lopmon here. I know like the general idea is you want to make your cost reduction on these, well, the black box text on these matter for Digivolving 3 from Terriermon. So you maximize the Terriermons, but like Lopmon is just so good giving that alliance. I feel like you'd want this at least at 2. You definitely don't want, like, especially in this deck, you don't want to see more. You just want, like, I feel like you would want 2. You just want to be able to see that 1 because you do have 3 double Typhoon in here. You can play that Lopmon and then swing with your alliance checks, whether it's on Mega Gargo, on the Rapidmon, or hell, even off of the Quartzmon. It gives you an extra body that you can play, and if you needed that to get to the 5 or 10 body threshold to trash 1 or 2 security, I mean, it's definitely a play there. See, the Terriermon lineup here, we've got the BT8 that searches for Rapidmon or Gargomon, but it's a top 5 search. I don't like this card simply because it's a top 5 search for 1 card, which just feels so bad. I know it searches out your entire top end, but like bottom decking 4 other cards along the way just hurts. I don't know. I'm always iffy on these 2. I personally don't like these 2 Terriermons. I prefer to just use this Terriermon and Memory Blocker Terriermon to facilitate my game plan, as well as the one from EX2. But the one from EX2 is a very like situational and specific Terriermon to use, and that's why most lists don't play it. We've got 4 agility training. I mean, hey, 4 agility training. You can Digivolve into your Rapidmon for 1. That's really good. I like that. This Rapidmon is so good because it has removal protection. It can't be bounced or deleted if you have a green tamer in play. It's just interesting to see 3 Willis. I mean, I get it. This Willis lets you reduce Digivolution cost by 1 when you Digivolve into a Gargomon or Rapidmon. So that's really good. It's on play like a half a Mimi. But I just find this Henry to be good as well. But without the Gargomon in this deck, the level 4 Gargomon, it's definitely not worth playing at more. And honestly, I just wonder why you don't play the Memory Tamer Henry instead, and you already run the green memory boost, so you could just go up on that as well. Other option lineup here, we got 1 Heavy Judgment and 2 Giant Missiles. So this list said I'm trying to be annoying AF. I'm either DP negging you or I'm bouncing you and perma suspending you, and then the Fire Rocket to cap it off, because Fire Rocket on top of your Rapidmon are just Fire Rocket for Rapidmon, Fire Rocket for Mega Gargo Ace. Good lord. If you go into Rapidmon and somehow get into Mega Gargo Ace in the same turn, it's such a lethal combo. And then the top end here is 3 level 7s, which is surprising that we're seeing like 3 level 7s in decks that's not named Sekon, because generally like we only used to see 2. The ones that will play 3 are like X antibody decks because you can get away with it because they're searchable. In this deck, only Quartzmon is searchable. These 2 will be bottom decked off of everything else, but they're all just so good. Dexmon against the wide meta, Merciful Mode against Davos, against Sekon to some extent, against Fenrir and other purple decks, and then Quartzmon, because well, sometimes Quartzmon really just is your boss monster. You get into a matchup, you're like, all right, my goal here is see Quartzmon and win kind of thing. Like, but anyways, Steve, congratulations on your 5th place finish with bunnies. I love to see it. I love to see this deck top. Next up, we've got Alex in 6th place with Leviamon, the only Leviamon list to top here. And obviously, we've got much more of the same. The spiciest text here being the inclusion of BT15 Bakemon. This card is a when digivolving and on deletion, draw 1, trash 1. That's it. Nothing more. Or Garurumon, that's our draw trash on Digivolve. This is a list just running the X antibodies, so not really focusing on any of the Dober X shenanigans. We do have 2 Serbex just because, again, I find this card to be really good. Even if, like, no matter what you do, being able to just pop a Digimon and swing again on your Leviamon is, I think, something that's very underrated by some people. But I'm glad to see a lot more people liking the Serbex in the deck. I did like this a lot when I was playing this deck. 4 Biting Crush and 2 7th Lightning. I mean, otherwise this looks like your standard Leviamon list. So this looks like about what, you know, Leviamon would do, everything considered. So Alex, congratulations on 6th place there. Moving on, we've got 3 red hybrid lists to take a look at. We've got Angel in 7th place, Bishop in 9th place, and Matt Vang in 10th place. Matt Vang, the former winner of, I can't remember which exact regional it was, but Matt did win a regional with red hybrid. So taking a look at our 7th place list here, first we see Bokomon back in the fray, as well as Gatsumon here. Bokomon, just a great card. Only at 1 is kind of interesting. I feel like Bokomon's a card you want to see at like 2 or 3 just because you want to see 1 this card. But then again, you know, if you're running draw power, I mean, that's another thing to note I didn't take a look at. We don't have any of the Searcher Flamemon from BT4. This one is opting for 4 of the Flamemon, you trash 1, draw 2, and then 4 of the Searcher one that searches 4, grabs a hybrid or Susanoo or Takuya. So really interesting there, because obviously those 2 have inheritables, so it makes sense you would want to see 4 of those. But also you're replacing in that slot, we got the Bokomon and the 2 Gatsumon. So, and also a Dexmon. An interesting world we live in, where a red hybrid deck feels so threatened that they need to play a Dexmon. But hey, I'm not gonna knock it, bro. You topped. You went to 7th place. I wonder if the Dexmon helped you or if it felt like a neg. The only reason I say it like that, though, is because Red Hybrid just feels like a deck that can take care of almost anything that stands in its path. There's very little matchups where Red Hybrid's like, oof, I need Dexmon, or I need this card outside of what I'm already doing. That's why it's just interesting to see the Dexmon here. Red Hybrid does what Red Hybrid does. So Angel, congratulations on 7th place. So moving on here, we've got Bishop's 9th place list, where we're seeing the 1 Garuda Ace, the card that I love, and also a Trident Gaia. Yo, Trident Gaia is a disgusting card. It's gonna pop in opponent's Digimon at the highest DP. If that Digimon is 13k or more DP, you trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. Mind you, that Digimon does have to be deleted, but Trident Gaia being removal and also punishing for just having a large body on board is just kind of bonkers. I love this card a lot. I'm not upset about the inclusion of this. I kind of want to make a deck, a red-based Secon deck around Trident Gaia, but we'll see how that works out. Now we see that Bishop is opting for the same thing that Angel did in 7th place. 3 Gravity Crush, 2 Atomic Inferno, 2 Crimson Blaze. That was the same exact option lineup. Again, interesting, because I personally am a big fan of both Gravity Crush and Atomic Inferno in the deck, and I would go 3-3-2 at the bare minimum, if not more. But I know that there's, you know, Gatsumons really help. This list is running the 2 Searcher Flamemon from BT4, and I know sometimes you have to cut down on your champion lineup to fit cards in here, but hey, Red Hybrid does what Red Hybrid does, baby. That's the thing I'm about to say again. This one's doing the same thing, 3-2, but 3 Crimson Blaze. This is Matt Vang's 10th place list, and yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but it's just much more of the same, you know? Red Hybrid doing what Red Hybrid does. Congratulations to all you guys who top with Red Hybrid. You guys work on your decks and you get them very refined, and you go in there and you say, Oonga Boonga, baby. But, you know, I dig it. I don't disrespect it at all. Next up, we've got Soren. Forgive me if I mispronounced that. In 8th place with Mirage Gaogamon, the only one to top here with Mirage. And this Mirage list is, yeah, this is Mirage right here. This is Mirage. Don't let anybody fool you. This card right here is why Mirage tops. I'm almost positive of it. One of, and then your 3 jamming rookies. The interesting thing here is the inclusion of the starter deck Aerovedramon. And I only say it's interesting because I know not a lot of lists play it, but we have definitely seen lists with a varied level 5 ratio. And so this one just said, screw it. I don't care too much for my mock Galgamons. I mean, I still run 4. We've got 2 Zoodle Ace and 2 Arrow V. Arrow V is really nice because it gives you that sec +1 if you have 8 or more cards in hand, which I'm sure as Mirage is very easy to achieve. We've got Lanamon for game because Lanamon for game. This Galmon is the Galmon that everybody opts to play if they do play Galmon. We do see the Searcher one here, but this one's good because it makes you draw a card. So that's adding a card to your opponent's hand by effect because it forces your opponent to draw as well. So it triggers all of your effects. It triggers the Mirage. It also triggers the Burst mode to put an extra card into your opponent's hand so that you can then, when attacking, bottom deck more cards to get to unsuspend. So just really good there. This list is very consistent. It looks like with 4 mental, 2 blues, 2 bluest, 4 mental, 2 bluest, and 2 of the Searcher Galmon here. We've got 5 total Mirages. I do like this Mirage a lot. I think this Mirage helps. Gino, my boy Gino, Cyberfowl from Locals, he loves this Mirage because this is the Mirage that he uses for Red Hybrid and says, all right, cool, you put a Tamer on board, bounce that Tamer back, and I get to play a Thomas. So I get to set you back and accelerate myself. Really good there. I do like this Mirage a lot, especially in this deck. And yeah, congratulations to Soren on their 8th place finish with Mirage. Moving on, we've got Isaac with their 11th place finish with Davos, which is purple-based Davos here. So I wonder what their matchup here was like playing into Leviathan, if they played Leviathan at all, because I know that's why people don't play purple base. Purple base is strong because you just run 4 Ukomon. You don't have to run the Tapir Mons if you don't want to or anything. I like the Tapir Mons. Yeah, sure, you might take away space from other cards, but because you're getting more draw discard, it might not feel as bad. But looking at the deck otherwise, we've got 2 Mega Gargo Ace, which Digivolves over green and black. We've got 1, 2, 3, 14 total sources for Mega Gargo Ace to Digivolve over. If they have the Mega Gargo Ace and you're swinging while they've got black or green out, and you're expecting, any one of these Davo plays and they pop the Mega Gargo, that's pretty tough. That's pretty tough. It's one thing to game plan for the aces that you know are in the deck. It's another thing to game plan for aces that you don't expect to be in the deck. And this is why I love aces in the game. It's a lot more strategic. It makes you think a lot more. Merciful mode. Always good. If your deck can play it, why not? Isaac, congratulations on your 11th place finish here. Moving on, we've got 12th and 13th place Lugon. This is Anthony and Zwan. Forgive me if I mispronounced that. So first off, Anthony's list here, we've got a interesting deck list. We've got Growlmon to pop Floodgates, so that's definitely strong there. We've got 2 Exanti Proto. We've got 1 Psych, 1 Ghazi. Why are we playing Psych? Stop putting Psychmon in the deck. Like, I know Dexmon's a problem. I don't know. Is Dexmon that big an issue that you need the Psychmon? This card can't be... Fenry is only going to play out Dark Animal or SOC trait Digimon. So Lugarmon is only going to play out Dark Animal or SOC trait Digimon. Like, why bother? This is why I don't like these rookies in the deck, to be honest. The Gobblebon I can understand, because at least Gobblebon it's so good that... yeah, when attacking, I'll draw 1 trash one, and I'll potentially gain a memory too. Like, why not? I can at least understand Gobblebon. But when it comes to the Floodgates, especially when you're running them at 1, it's like how, like, you're not trashing them off of your effects because Hellugar is not going to trash them. You can trash it off of Tyrannomon, but why trash it? Then why were you running it in the first place? You want to run the Black Gato, you want to run the Uber, and you want to trash those cards. So I don't know. I mean, to each their own. We've seen lists running all sorts of different rookie lineups. That's just the way that I view rookies in Fenry. I don't find value in them if they're not Dark Animal or SOC traded. Otherwise, we do have the 2 Tyranno. I love my Tyranno here. 6 total Lugars, and just doing what Fenry does best, which is, actually, we got Cerbex in here. Cerbex is super interesting because it's a draw 1, trash 1. Protoform lets you Digivolve for 1 less, so that you can Digivolve into Cerbex for 2 if that's the way that it goes. But then you also get to play out a level 3. So I take it back. This is a list that's at least able to play out these things. It gets to play out the Gazimon, the Psychmon. Problem is if this Cerbex hits trash, that's kind of it. It's done. There's no getting it back. There's no Fangmon in here. So there's no pulling this card back, which again, there's no Fangmon in here. It's interesting. I know a lot of people feel a type of way about Fangmon. I originally took the card out and then I put it back in, and I've taken it out again. Just kind of relying on Tyrannomon to do what Fangmon does, because I find more value in Tyrannomon than I find in Fangmon. But Anthony, congratulations on your 12th place finish with Lugamon here. And 13th, we've got Zwan with, yes, my ADP tech. We've got the 2 Dracmon here. Dracmon is a oldie, but a goodie, as they say. It's on play reveal top 3. You're going to add an undead or dark animal and then trash one and then place the rest at the bottom of your deck. So this is going to get to pull into most of your deck except your AGs, which is why I don't like playing the card, because I don't like bottom decking AGs. Why I also have a hard time playing Purple Memory Boost sometimes, because I know it always happens. I could do all in my power to draw and search with Wisdom and Tyrannomon, and the moment I drop that Purple Memory Boost, I'm going to find that first AG of the game that I was looking for. So it's an absolute travesty. But I know I saw a comment, it might have been on either Risu's video, and if you haven't checked out Risu's video, you should. But they basically said they were playing this Dracmon for the Inherited, which is still really good because you could be at like Fangmon, for example, or any one of these other ones, and it allows you to digivolve into an undead or dark animal from your trash for the cost. So this is what allows you to play this Halugar at 3 instead of 4, because if you're at whatever level 4 here, you can just digivolve into this Halugar from your trash, which is kind of insane as I think about it. This one, I know I just talked about not being able to play rookies that or playing rookies that aren't necessarily Dark Animal RSLC, but this one is one that I could definitely see just for that. The more that I play Fenrir, the more like I look at some of the lines, I'm like, damn, I wish I could like do this play again because I can't pull into another Halugar or something. And being able to pull out Dracmon on top of whatever level 4 and swing and go into the Halugar from trash is kind of insane. So I actually might play Dracmon myself just because of that. I do love this Lugon, but I can definitely see why you go 2-2 split here. This is the Lugon you always want to see. This is a Lugon that's still good, but sometimes it's just like, okay, whatever. You're there, but it's whatever. I like 8 rookies in the deck. That's where I'm comfortable with. Otherwise, this deck looks like much of the same. We're running the Fangmon here, though. We've got 5 total Lugar, so just opting for 1 more, just to see that 1 more Lugar. And 2 Tyranno, 2 Black Auto, 2 Black Auto Uber. So very good list here. 3 Fenrir. That's where we're making some cuts to fit some of these bottom level 4s, as well as a Dexmon and an extra missed memory boost. I don't recall if, I know some lists play up to 4, some lists play the 2, but either way, Zwan, congratulations on your 13th place finish with Lugon. And last up, we've got Christian, who placed 16th with Armors. Armors is a deck that Dan, Mike, and myself wasn't really expecting to be good until BT16, and there are some people out here proving us wrong. Magnamon is a deck that we can probably consider to be pilot-oriented at this point. There's just a lot of good cards in this deck, and obviously it gets better with BT16, but it's not to sleep on this deck currently. I mean, this Vmon from the movie is just so good because it makes your Magnamons cost 2 to Digivolve, which is, oh my lord. And then when attacking, if you have 2 or more colors, you just get to draw 1. That's really good. We got Jamming V and Oldie But a Goodie. And if Magna Agumon needs to be banned, I guess Vmon should need to be banned. Jamming on a rookie, who likes that, you know? We've also got the Vmon from BT12 here that is going to search top 3 and add either an Imperial or free trait as well as a Davis to your hand. Really good in this deck because we play the 4 promo Davis that lets you play out a Vmon. If you have a free trait, you get to gain a memory at start of main. And then also one of the old Davis that basically just searches for a blue card in this deck. There's no green. So basically you play it, you get to pull almost any card in your deck to your hand outside of your options. One of Louis to combo with the 4 Uko, because why not? Uko Louis, that's especially for this deck, for Armor Rush. My biggest thing here is seeing the inclusion of 3 Dexmon. Like, this deck's in kind of like a weird spot for me because it's armors, but like inherently it's a little bit more defensive in nature. You're generally not really pushing until you're like in a good position to push. So 3 Dexmon, 3 Dexmon to cap off on like all of your Magnamons being blockers and Magna X, and then the Zudo Ace if they swing and they're not expecting it. Like, this is a very good list. I'm very interested in trying this deck myself to see like how I might pilot it, because I don't know if it'll be my playstyle. It feels like it might, but it might be too defensive. I don't know. All I know is this starter deck Magnamon is so insane, and it's kind of what puts this deck into the next tier of being pilot oriented, because it's a D-Digivolve 1, can be on one of your Digimon so that you can D-Digivolve one of your Vmons, and then Digivolve into this, which strips source for each color your opponent's Digimon has, and then bounces something with no source, which is just bonkers. The 3 BT13 Magnamon that vomits out a Vmon either from source or from hand when it leaves the battle area. And then the old Magnamon that gains DP for all of the armors that you have in your trash. So just a very interesting list to see. And again, like first of all, congratulations, Carlos, for 16th place. I'm very interested to try this deck myself and see what I might be able to do with it. Anyways, that is it for today's Meta Snapshot. Thank you guys for tuning into this video. If you guys liked it, please drop a like and a comment. Let me know what you thought about these lists at top, and also subscribe so that you know when future videos come out. Thank you guys for watching this, and until we talk to you guys the next time, peace out.